Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, John Haynes, A Conversation with Death. The man who rules the world and the angel of darkness take on a horde of demons in this inaugural John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes, A Conversation with Death for 99 cents on Kindle or in paperback today. One of my viewers came to me on Facebook in a message telling me about how many black women just want to be a friend and how they're always looking for black men to just be friends with. Now, when it comes down to women, they usually put men into two categories. Men they want to have romantic and sexual relationships with, and men who they want to be their friend. And usually, most women know what type of relationship they want to have with a man within the first 5 seconds of looking at him. So it doesn't matter how much effort a man makes. She usually made her decision about what type of relationship she wanted to have with a man within the first 5 seconds of looking at him. Now, when it comes down to these women who say that they want to be friends, this is something most black men need to look out for. Because whenever a woman says she wants to be a friend with a man, basically she's looking for a man she can use to be a tool in some sort of way. Now, in a previous video I made about a couple of years ago, I talked about the concept of something called a gynocentric harem. Now, the whole concept of the gynocentric harem comes out of ancient Arabian culture, where you would have these sheiks who were wealthy and they had all these wives. And they would keep their wives in this harem, and this harem would be guarded by this eunuch or this group of eunuchs, these castrated, emasculated men who would keep these women from having sex with other men in the Arabian kingdom. Now, when it comes down to the harem for men, they usually protected the women with the eunuchs. However, when it comes down to the gynocentric harem, the men emasculate themselves because what they do is they wind up giving up all their personal power in the hopes of getting the attention of this woman. And when it comes down to the gynocentric harem, usually you have 5 or 6 guys who are in this friend zone trying to chase this woman, thinking that if they go out here and do good deeds, they will get her attention and her approval and possibly an opportunity at a sexual relationship. What these guys basically are a group of bench warmers, and they're sitting there waiting on standby in the hopes of getting an opportunity at a sexual relationship with. Now, in your gynocentric harem are usually, again, 5 to 6 guys, and these 5 to 6 guys usually are the following. You usually have a driver, who's a guy who goes around driving her around with his car, he usually takes her places in his car. Then you have the guy at work who goes on the job doing a lot of her work for her. And then you have the guy who's her next door neighbor. He's the guy who's out here, he's running errands for her and walking her dog and even possibly taking out her trash. And then you have another guy who basically is in the role of the boyfriend. This is the alpha male, and he's the one that she's having the sexual and romantic relationship with. And then there's the other guys at the stores and the restaurants who give her free coffee or free drinks at the bar. And again, all of these men are part of the gynocentric harem, and all of these guys are her male friends. And she's using these male friends in one way or the other to advance herself. Now, there's only one man who's having this romantic and sexual relationship with her, and he's just there, again, basically to meet her sexual needs. And what many of the other guys in the harem believe is that if this guy messes up, that they will have a chance to advance to the next level in the relationship. And they think that if this guy who's up at the front leaves, they will be called up to be the next man. Now, this is the covert contract many of these men make when they go out here and have friendships with women. And what these guys just don't understand is that this is a complete waste of their time. Now, when it comes down to many of these beta males out here who believe in this whole friend zone concept, These guys just do not understand the concept of time. Now, time is a precious thing, and the reason why it is precious is because you can't get time back. Once you have lost time, you cannot go back and rewind time to get it back. So that's why it's just a waste of a time for a man to try to sit there and be a friend to a female that has no interest in him romantically or sexually. And what a man needs to do is charge that female to the game and let that man who is in the role of the boyfriend deal with the problems of a boyfriend. If this woman cannot show you the respect to actually consider you for a romantic relationship from minute one, then you have no need to be this woman's friend. You can be an acquaintance to that woman, and as an acquaintance, you can come in and just talk to her here and there, but it is not your job to sit there and be her emotional tampon, sitting there listening to all of her problems and being her therapist or being her errand boy or being her garbage man. That's the role of her boyfriend, that's the role of her husband, and that's something he needs to do. That's not your job to do. And if she really wants to sit down and talk about her problems, she can go find one of her girlfriends or again, find that boyfriend because those are the people who are more important in her life than you. You, as the male friend, are just a tool, and she is just seeing what she can use you for, and that's why she's got you on standby. And what happens with many of these guys who are trying to be the friend is they don't understand they are just sitting there in the role of a spare penis. And what the spare penis is used for is that when the relationship between her and the man fails, what happens is she goes and tries to bring you in. And again, that's just a waste of your time because, again, your life is precious, your time is precious, and you shouldn't be sitting there waiting to be the standby man or the spare man or the backup man for some female in many cases. Now, some guys want to be the backup man when it comes down to dysfunctional females, like many of the females in the black community, because they don't have to deal with many of the problems. But your time is too precious to waste being in that role, waiting for the covert contract to come up. Your time is just too precious to deal with a dysfunctional female. And when you have females like this talking about they want you to be their friend, that's when you need to say it's time for everything to end. Because you don't need to be in a gynocentric harem being completely emasculated and sitting there waiting to have a relationship with this woman. This woman is not that valuable, especially in a world where there are 4 women for every 1 man. And since there are 4 women for every 1 man, you shouldn't have to sit there and be on standby waiting for this female to consider you. You should be out here seeking opportunities with all the other females out here who are actually interested in making you number 1. Why should you wait to be number 3, 4, 5, or number 6 in a woman's friend zone when you can be number 1 to a woman who actually wants to have a sexual and romantic relationship with you? The guys in the gynocentric harem, all they're doing is being the emasculated, weak men who are just there to be her tools, and they spend the best years of their lives being this woman's fool. And while she has a real relationship with the man she actually wants, these guys are sitting there masturbating to fantasies of a woman they'll never get. And that's what's really sad about these beta males who call themselves being a woman's friend. They don't see how they're not wasting their time, and they're wasting the time they could have to go out here and do more constructive things than chase a female who just isn't worth their time. Now, when it comes down to men, they just don't a lot of them don't understand their role as a man. They don't understand their value as a man. And because they don't understand their role as a man and their value as a man, They don't understand that they are the prize, they are the ones with the highest value, and those who don't understand their value, they sell themselves for far less than they're worth. And the men who sit and become a part of a gynocenric harem, they sell themselves for far less than they're worth, and they miss out on all the opportunities they have to have a relationship with a woman who's actually interested in with them by spending time with women who want to be their friend. Usually when women want to have a relationship with a man and they want to consider him as a serious partner in a relationship, they make that decision within the first 5 seconds of looking at that man. And if she can make that decision within 5 seconds, you can make that decision within 1 second of hearing she only wants to be friends, to cut ties with this female and keep it moving, and pursue a relationship with a female who actually is interested in taking you seriously and actually sees your time as something valuable that they want to actually pursue a relationship with you. Because why should you be somebody's second best or third best when you can get with a female who will actually see you as the best? When women tell you that they want to be their friend, that's when you need to just say, this is the end. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct Men's Issues books like the Simp series, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.